Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho. This video, as you guys can clearly tell by the title, will be a review on all the Operation Reboot changes that Nexon has made to the game Combat Arms thus far. I've taken the past few weeks to play the game, obviously Combat Arms, a little bit to see exactly how the changes really affected my gameplay and how overall I feel about, the change that they've made to the economy, and I'll be giving you guys my 2 cents on whether or not overall I think it's overall a good change that they made, or if it's just like an utter failure. So let's get started, shall we? So the way that I'm going to be formatting this video is I'm going to be talking about the good things, or the good things that I think Nexon has made to made to the game via the Operation Reboot thing, and I'll be talking about things that I feel are neutral, and yes, there is one. I'll be talking about things that I think are bad, and finally I'll be talking about things that are just plain ugly and just ew, I don't want to see in Combat Arms. So it's kind of like like the good old, the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of theme with a neutral thing stuck in there somewhere. So yeah, we'll start talking about the good things first. So the good things that I think that Nexon has made to the game Combat Arms. I think that sounds kind of awkward, but the good things that I think that they made to Combat Arms is, first of all, that all NX standard guns are now purchasable with GP, as you guys can see just by looking at the hot section of weapons here. All these guns are NX standard, or they used to be, and now after the Operation Reboot, they are now all available for GP. As you guys see, you could only buy that for NX before the last patch. Now you can buy it for 770 GP for 1 day, and obviously making all the NX guns available to the GP only using audience of Combat Arms is obviously a very good thing, because now people who couldn't otherwise have a chance to use NX standard weapons can now have a chance to use them. So obviously that's a great thing, and making more guns available to more people is a great thing. Even though I understand that a lot of people kind of think that, oh, if you make everyone able to buy NX guns, that means that everyone's going to be running around with OPP-9TRs and shit like that. Those fears are kind of unfounded, because it's kind of the same mentality that people used to have back in the day when Nexon first started selling NX rare perms. If you guys remember those as special events. If you guys, even I bought, I think it was the M416 CQB camo, and I think another NX rare gun as well for permanent when they were on sale, for like those flash 1-day sales, something like that. And I know for a fact that a former Combat Arms YouTuber, Larry, quit the game. Those was one of his main reasons that he quit. In my personal opinion, I could be very wrong on this, so don't quote me on it. But it seemed like watching one of his videos where he explains like why he kind of left the CA scene was, one of the reasons that he mentioned was the fact that, oh man, Nexon selling NX rare perms, I'm done, quitting CA, goodbye. So it's kind of like an unfounded fear, because, just because you sell NX rare perms to the Combat community doesn't mean like fucking everyone and their mother's gonna run around with M4A1 SOP mods. Sure, you will definitely see a lot more SOP mods being used in general or overall in pub matches, but not everyone's gonna drop $26, $27 for a SOP mod perm just because they like it, or just because they know it's a good gun. It's not everyone's going to, the game's not going to be over flooded with SOP mods. Let's just put it that way. And the same thing applies here. Definitely, you see a lot more weapon diversity in games lately in Combat Arms. But does that mean everyone's gonna run around with dual Scorpions and fucking P90Rs? No, not really. It's not even that. I haven't even seen that many more people running around P90Rs that much. And even if people did buy P90Rs because they know it's a good gun, doesn't mean they know how to use it well. Because that's something you just gotta have to think about. So it's, and in my opinion, the fact that they made all the NX standard guns, or just standard NX standard gear, not just guns, just gear as well, a GP purchasable, is to me a great thing, because obviously GP, that means that me personally, on my road to general series, my GP only account is now able to use NX standard guns and weapons and stuff like that, because now technically there's no such thing as NX standard anymore, so I can go ahead and buy them all I want. So to me, it's a great thing. Second thing that I wanted to mention here under the good category was the fact that ghost case keys. You guys know how the Combat Arms had the whole black high-sec and the gray high-sec cases and keys mechanic going on in the game, right? Well, now after the reboot patch, Nexon has phased out the black high-sec and the gray high-sec cases in order to create the ghost high-sec case. I think I'm pretty sure it's called ghost something. It may not be called the high-sec cases anymore, but the ghost cases, regardless, are basically the combination of the gray and black high-sec cases. And the reason for that was because Nexon wanted to make it so that people wouldn't have to pay, for gray high-sec keys and black high-sec keys separately. So what they've decided to do is, just combine them into one case and key kind of combination, the ghost high-sec and the ghost key, whatever they want to call it. And they've decided to make it both available for GP and NX purchase. So, which I think it's a good system, because you can choose, you can buy it for GP, but if you feel like you want to use your GP for something else, and you feel like you want to buy it for NX, then that's your choice. Having more choice is always a better thing. It's always a good thing, I should say. And I'm not really too mad about the fact that the ghost keys are a bit more expensive. I should say a bit. Let's check it out actually right now. How much do those cost? Premium, ability? No, it's not those. Specials? Let's see. Set items. Apparently this search bar is supposed to work, but I don't think I've ever managed to get it work at all so far. So fuck me, I guess. No, it's not on there. Gear? Is that under gear or weapons? Hell if I know. Shop? Yeah, okay, so we just go to shop. Yes, actually it's not a little bit more expensive. It's a lot more fucking expensive. So as you guys can see, it's 4.5k per case, or per key. So, I mean, even though I did say it was a good thing, it kind of feels like I should put this in the bad category. But regardless, at least you do have the choice of buying either these keys for NX or GP. And but keep in mind that the prices for both of these have been jacked up quite considerably, so just keep that in mind. Moving on to another good thing about the reboot operations, the GP guns can now be permanently purchased for or purchased for permanent with NX. So as you guys know, or as you guys may have noticed, you can now buy any GP gun. In fact, you can buy any gun that's listed in the shop for permanent purchase. Any weapon for that matter, whether it be an assault rifle, or a pistol, or even a melee weapon, or even a support weapon. Okay, let's go to the support weapons here. If you want to buy a frag pack for perm, I mean, go ahead. Go right on ahead. If you want to buy a frag for permanent, you can buy both of these, both of the GP frags for permanent, or the super frags, the GP version and the NX version, the NL. So, I mean, look at that. You can buy anything for perm now, and that's obviously a great thing because, if you really like the GP gun and you're willing to drop NX for it to buy it permanent, then I mean the Nexon is saying, yeah, you can go right on ahead and do it. If you really like the ACR for some reason, I know they've sold it for permanent purchase before, but if you really want to buy it for perm, and you don't have the GP or you missed those sales and you have some GP, then you can go ahead and do that. If you want to buy the AEK or the TAR or whatever, whatever you really want, then you can go right on ahead and drop some NX to buy them for a permanent purchase. So obviously, in my opinion, that's a great thing because, before you didn't have that option. Even if you had all the NX in the world, you still couldn't buy, a GP gun for permanent unless you renewed it for permanent. And obviously, we all know how rare it is to get permanents or even 90-day renewals out of, the renewal kits. And even then, the renewal kits are gone by now, so who cares now? But yeah, this new feature, I feel is a great thing. Moving on to another good aspect of the reboot operation, the one-day rentals are indeed back. So Nexon did listen to all our complaints about, bring back the one-day sales, 7-day sales are too expensive, and they did bring back the one-day rentals. So, I mean, in that sense, it is a good thing, but it's not entirely a good thing. I'll explain why later on once we, talk about what they did wrong or the bad stuff. So, actually, let me go ahead and write that down. Oh crap, my pen production value. Oh my god, pen ran out of ink. Do I even have another pencil? Yes, I do. No. Reynolds. rentals. Okay, so moving on. The attachments also. This can also be placed under the whole. Oh, you can buy anything for permanent now. If you go to the let's see here. If you go to the modifications, you can actually buy all the attachments for permanent purchase as well, and they're actually not that they're not that expensive. I mean, just drop $3.50, and you'll get a permanent ACOG TA3 scope. You know, if you want to get a permanent silencer for whatever reason, you can do that for just 2,700 NX. They're not expensive at all compared to the other things in this game, and you know. If you feel like it's worth dropping the NX to buy permanent attachments, then by all means go ahead. I've actually considered going out and buying some like the TA1 scope for perm, you know, maybe the extended mag 2 for perm, because you know it's just convenient, and it's a great feature that they've added. So again, though, this can be included under the whole. Oh, you can buy GP. You can buy anything GP for permanent now with NX. Another great thing that they've added in my opinion, is the fact that they've implemented a comparison feature. So if you guys have ever done reviews on your own channels at all, you guys will have probably made at some point or other, you know, made comparisons between one gun and another gun, and sometimes you've tried to, you know, make comparisons like in the actual arsenal itself, or while you're scrolling through the shop. And you know, with the new UI, before they implemented this whole comparison feature, the UI didn't let you effectively, you know, compare guns. Like, you could do it, but it wasn't very easy to do, especially if you didn't have a gun that you wanted to compare it to. So it kind of proved to be a little bit tricky there. With the new comparison feature, all you need to do is, oh, say you want to compare the FAMAS to the L85A1. Then all you need to do is just right click, choose item to compare, and just go over here and choose item to compare, and boom, there you go. Did I do it right? Yeah, there you go. So all you need to do is right click on your gun, click on choose item to compare, and you guys can clearly see just, you know, right now I'm comparing the FAMAS, or the L85A1, to the FAMAS, and this is how much the FAMAS does against the L85A1. All the negative, or you know, the drawbacks that the FAMAS has is highlighted in red, as you guys can see by the damage, and everything. All the gains, or the stat buffs, over the other weapon are seen in green. So as you can see, the FAMAS has less damage, but has less weight, more rate of fire, more accuracy, I think, yeah, more accuracy, and less recoil. So obviously, the FAMAS is better than the LA5 in a lot of aspects, but also weaker in the damage, which a lot of people care about. You know, if you want more damage, if you care about nothing but the damage, then FAMAS might not be the gun for you, because LA5 is clearly stronger. So this kind of comparison feature really helps people kind of hone down, okay, what kind of gun do I want today? So that kind of a feature, obviously very, very good, and I'm glad that Nexon implemented it. Next up on the good list, we've got the lower gun rank requirements. So before they came out with the reboot, you guys all know that I frequently refer to guns as GP standard, GP rare, NX standard, and NX rare. And the GP rares, if you guys didn't know, were really, really high rank and really, really tough to get, because not only were they you know, high rank, had a high rank requirement, but also they were just really, really expensive. You know, for example, I remember the M107 CQ Air Force, I think it was the rank that you had to be in order to unlock that sniper rifle was Brigadier General, which is 1 star, which is obviously an extremely high rank, one of the top ranks out there in this game, in fact. And even if you were 1 star General, you still had to drop like 2100 GP or something ridiculous like that in order to just buy it for like 1 day, you know, or something like that. And back then, you didn't have 1 day sales, so guess how much it cost when you had to buy it for 7 days? Something ridiculous, like 10k or 12k GP for 1 week. Like, that's a lot more GP than a lot of people make in an entire week anyway. So it's like, well, what's the point of getting like a rare, you know, or getting like a GP rare gun like that if you don't have a lot of GP to spare to begin with, or you know, you're not a high rank at all? Like, what's the point of it even being in the game? Or, you know, if you don't get it out of like a missed N or the missed GP supply case. So the fact that Nexon did go through, and let's go over to the rentals now and take a look at the AR section. The fact that they've basically reduced all the GP rare guns down to a much lower rank requirement. Like for example, the M4A1 CQBR. I remember this gun that used to have like a major rank requirement or something like that before. Now you all you need to be is Master Sergeant 1, and you can have access to the M4A1 CQBR. And I don't know how much the M4A1 CQBR cost before the reboot. I'm pretty sure it was a little bit less expensive than this. But the fact that you don't have to be like something major, something ridiculous high rank in order to even access it to begin with is, I mean, I think it's well worth the extra GP that you have to pay in order to, rent it out for one day. That's just my opinion, but obviously you might not agree. But overall, I do think that the whole, lowering all the GP, like drastically lowering all the GP rare rank requirements was a really good idea. And then finally, we last on our list here, we have that free gun rotation. So obviously, this feature was not able to be implemented. Let's see here. Where's the free? Yeah, here it is, free gun rotation. So obviously, Nexon couldn't implement this system right away, but they did put it in like a week after, I believe. And the free gun rotation is a very good idea because basically this lets you use these guns free. They're automatically in your inbox by like in your inventory by the looks of it for 7 days or whatever. And as you guys can see, free rotation will expire. These 4 items will expire in 7 days or 15 hours or something like that. So until then, you guys can actually use these guns for free and without any penalty. The only drawbacks to these are the facts that you can't add attachments to these, you can't customize these, or whatever. They're just there. You can't really do anything else to them, and I don't really like that because I think at one point they had the F2000 Tactical, and I really don't like using that gun without a scope. I need to have a scope on that in order to do well, or do better, or as best as I can. God, my English is bad, but those are some things that I don't like about the free rotation. But the fact that they're giving you free NX to try out at the very least is obviously a very good notion, and hopefully Nexon does keep it up. I've noticed that the RPK-74 has been there for a while though, so it'd be nice if Nexon kind of expanded the free gun rotation to be to include more guns. But hey, we'll just let them do their thing. So yeah. Also, one last good thing about it is the fact that all these guns are also the Ace variants. As you guys know, if you guys haven't noticed before, now Nexon has implemented they've basically made the NX standard category of guns into 2 kinds of NX standard. One is a grade 2, and the other is a grade 3. The grade 3 Ace variant of the NX standard guns are slightly better. Like they're the original ones, the original NX standards before the Reboot operation came around, and they keep all the same stats, they keep all the same features or whatever, and the grade 2 ones are the slightly nerfed variants. They're not too much nerfed, but some guns do have noticeable nerfs over other variants of guns, but overall they're not, they shouldn't be nerfs that are, they shouldn't warrant like too much fuss over them, just if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, the fact that they give you like the original variants instead of the nerfed ones is also very nice as well. I mean, Nexon could have gone full scumbag and just given you, hey, for the free gun rotation, we'll give you the we'll give you the nerfed variants because we're dicks and we don't want you to. We want you to pay us money to use the full Ace version. No, they're gonna give us access to the full Ace variants of the NX standard guns. So that's all I have to say there. Now, moving on to the neutral side of things. I only have one thing listed here, and I don't really, or 2 things I think. I don't really know what to really think about these changes, but I'll mention them anyway, and I'll leave it up to you guys to make your own opinions on whether or not you guys think these are good or bad changes. So, first one is that, like I mentioned before just now, there are 2 kinds of NX standard weapons, the grade 2 and the grade 3 Ace. Like I mentioned before, the grade 3 Ace are the original NX standard guns before, they nerfed them and into separate variants as part of the Reboot operation patch. And I don't really know how to feel about that. I'll show you guys right now. Let's go to the shop again, take a look at the AR list. As you guys can see, you've got, for example, the Carbon 15, CZI 805. These are the grade 2 NX standard variants. And if we were to compare this, the grade 2 Carbon 15, to the original Ace variant of the Carbon 15, let's go ahead and see if we can find that. Yeah, here it is. As you can see here, the Ace Carbon 15 has 60+ range on it over the grade 2 Carbon 15. And why they would do this, I'm not really too sure, because I mean, maybe it's to give players much wider variety to guns. I'm not really too sure, but the thing is that if they wanted to give us more variety of guns, they might as well just add in more guns instead of nerfing guns that we already had and saying, oh, you can buy this gun for by yada 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 or something like that. So I don't know. I can see pros and cons to this. So I'm not really too sure where I sit. I'm just like kind of straddling the fence on this issue here. But yeah, I don't really know what to think. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. You guys can make the decision. You guys can make the call for this. Oh, and also just as a reminder, if you guys didn't listen to my initial reboot operation kind of a patch video when they first released this patch, the Ace 2 or the grade 2 and the grade 3 ace differences are actually slightly different from gun to gun. For example, sorry about that. If you guys hear a cutoff in the video, I was just interrupting my parents. She was bringing me something to eat because she always does. Whatever. Anyways, so like I was saying, all the grade 2 and the grade 3 ace variants have some sort of difference. They're all the same. For example, the Carbon 15 NX standard variants, they differ in that the Ace variant has 60 more range, whereas, say for example, if we were to compare the AK-74M Ace to the original AK-74M, if we can find it here real quick. Where are you, AK-74? Here you are. So here you go. As you guys can see, this one also has negative 60 range, which kind of doesn't prove my point here. Come on. Work with me now. Where's the AR-94? Did I pass it? AR-94, where are you? Some of these guns are kind of hard to find. Oh, AR-94, where are you? Here it is. So again, this one has 60 plus range. Okay, so am I mistaken? Do all these guns have just differences in range here? What's going on? So choose an item to compare. Where's the aces? SG556, where are you? There you go. No, okay, so this one. So the Ace SG556, actually, it does not have anything changed, except for the fact that it has more ammunition in the magazine. And this is actually pretty special, because the SG556, before the reboot operation, only had 20 bullets in the magazine. Now it has actually 25. So this is actually very interesting, because Nexon buffed some guns in small ways, and just kept the grade 2 variants of the what's now called the Ace guns the same as what they used to be before the reboot. So it's very interesting, and I don't really know. Is this a good thing overall, or is it a bad thing? You guys can make the call, like I said. Another thing that I don't know what to think of, and I'll just put it on a neutral category, is that the fact that Nexon removed the recon vest and the tracker knife to be ghost case exclusives, because they didn't know recon vest is a very powerful speed gear where it gives you plus 15% speed, which is what I'm wearing right now because I bought it for perm a long time ago. And the tracker knife is also the tracker knife is the best melee weapon in the game. Let's be real here. And the reason why I have it, let's go ahead and equip it real quick. There you go. The reason why I have the tracker knife is because, again, just like the recon vest, I purchased it for permanent a long time ago. And as you can see, this has a 1-star grade. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. But anyways, the tracker knife and recon vest are two very, very powerful pieces of gear. Now, they're no longer, as part of the reboot operation patch, they're no longer part of the shop anymore. You can't actually buy them directly, and the only way you can get them is through, let's go to my inbox, see if we have ghost cases. The only way you can get them is through ghost cases. Yeah, see, look, this is these cases have the tracker knife, even if it has a missed weapon. I don't know why that's doing there. And it has the where's the recon vest? Where's the recon vest? Yeah, recon vest and tracker knife. These things are only here now. I believe the Tiger Strider kind of falls into that category as well. So why Nexon would do that? I'm not really too sure if I agree with why they did that. I mean, sure, they're very powerful pieces of gear, and I can understand that if they wanted to make it very rare, then moving it to ghost cases is a good idea, because obviously it's kind of hard to open ghost cases all the time because of how expensive the keys are. but is it really that necessary? I'm not really too sure. Like a tracker knife, you know, yeah, sure. If you play melee only games all day long, then yeah, it's obviously going to be very helpful to you. But in a normal pub match, which is what most people play, you know, how useful is a tracker knife going to be? Like, it's going to help you run around faster, yeah, sure. But are you really going to go around killing people with it? I mean, yeah, sure, you might, but you know, are you going to do that every single game? Of course not. So, yeah, and same thing with the recon vest. Yeah, sure, you're going to be able to run around really, really fast with the recon vest, and, you know, it's obviously very powerful in that respect. But is that going to help you kill people? Like, having a recon vest doesn't equate to you automatically having a lot more gun skill in combat. It's just, there's no way that's even possible. You know, just because you have the best gear in the world, if you suck, you still suck. And, for example, me, since I have what I consider decent gun skill, even on my GP only Road to General account, I still drop unbelievables from time to time because my gun skills is adequate enough to allow me to pull off such feats. And in the meantime, I'm just running around with a light vest and beanie hat. You know, I don't have recon vest full 25% speed gear. I'm just running around with GP speed gear that's available to me, and I'm still dropping unbelievables. So the fact that Nexon made these really powerful gear pieces very exclusive, not too sure what to think. Again, you guys can make the call. Let's move on to the bad things of the reboot operation. There are quite a bit of these, so hold on to your seats here. So, the first thing that I want to mention about the whole reboot operation that I feel that is a bad change is how they remodeled the stats. Now, obviously, the stats do tell you a little bit more than what they used to tell before. Like, now they changed the portability stat and they remodeled it into what's called the weight stat, where instead of higher is better, like higher portability is better, now lower weight is better. So it's kind of, you know, it tells you, I guess it'll be more intuitive, but then again, we're so used to having more, like the rule of more portability is better, that I'm not really too sure if having, you know, changing that stat, like turning it on its head completely, would be the best of ideas, if you know what I'm saying. That, and they've changed the rate of fire, or they've included the range attribute, where we didn't have that range before, but to me it's kind of, the range is kind of useless, because if you guys have been around my channel for a long time, I made a couple of in-depth videos regarding the range, like the exact range at which submachine guns and assault rifles lose their range. And I believe in those tests we actually found out that the assault rifles, most assault rifles, have a bullet drop range of 87.5 or something like that. You know, somewhere close to that, if you look through a TA1 ACOG scope. You know, the number that comes up when you aim down sights on a gun with a TA1 ACOG scope, the number you see there, it indicates the range at which, you know, your gun is pointing, as, you know, in context of the game. And the fact that guns, you know, assault rifles usually have an 87.5 like set range, where if you try shooting someone beyond 87.5, you won't even hit them at all, even if your scope is right on them, because it kind of acts like shotgun bullets, where they just disappear. The bullets just fucking disappear, and you can't even hit them anymore because the game says, oh nope, that's the extent of the range. You can't shoot them anymore because you're too far away. And when the number on the TA1's ACOG scope actually turns red, that tells you, oh, you can't shoot that guy at this range anymore. You have to come closer. So the fact that Nexon added in this useless range attribute, which again I don't know why they did, because if my tests are still consistent, I mean those tests are still kind of old at this point. I think they're like a year old now. If they change the whole range mechanic and how that plays out, then okay, maybe this new range stat feature here on the arsenal is useful for something. But if my tests are still true, that, you know, submachine guns has to have a definitive range of, like, I think it was like 70 something or 60 something or something like that, and assault rifles have a definitive range of 87.5. What the hell are these range stats for? Like, they're fucking worthless. They're useless. There's no reason for them to be here. Like, oh, these guns have a range buff? Oh yeah, that's sure. That's all helpful when all guns in the game have a set range of 87.5. So, not too sure what to think there. Also, they've also kind of messed with the stats. They didn't even improve them at all. Like, I don't even like. Okay, the M41 here, as you guys can see, has a rate of fire of 285. What the hell does that tell me? Like, what is it out of? With the whole out of 100, you have this much rate of fire out of 100 was a lot more intuitive because that's what we've been working with this entire time, and it's out of 100. We have a like an upper limit, like an upper threshold that we can compare it to and say, oh, it shoots this much or it shoots this fast, and we can kind of imagine how fast it shoots out of a 100 rate of fire system. 90 rate of fire is the highest rate of fire in the game, and that's shared by a lot of submachine guns, miniguns, stuff like that. And we all have a knack of what 90 rate of fire is like. So anything below that, we can kind of imagine through our own intuition. Whenever we come across a new gun, like, oh, this gun has a 55 rate of fire. Okay, then if it's that slow, then maybe it only shoots as fast as like an M2 Browning or something like that, or a gun that has a really low rate of fire. As compared to, like, say, if we find a submachine gun that has like an 80 rate of fire, then we're like, oh, okay, it doesn't shoot quite as fast as a 90 rate of fire submachine gun, but still shoots pretty fast. With the 285 rate of fire for an M41, what the fuck does that even say? Like, how the hell do we know? Like, if someone came into this game as a fresh newbie, like, fresh count, fresh everything, never played the game before, and he looks at his stats, what the hell does this tell him? 285 rate of fire? What the fuck does that mean? I'm kind of pissed off about that. Like, I thought it was going to be a good change. Like, I thought, they said, oh, we're going to improve the stats, so it tells you a lot more. I was like, okay, so sweet. This will make my reviews a lot better. Nah, not really. It's just, I don't know what to use. I'm forced to use my old stats because these new stats don't tell me anything. They tell me jack shit. So, unfortunately, I can't use them because they're just not good enough. I wish they would go back to the old system of stats because those were a lot more clear, and that's what we've been working with the entire time. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, clearly Nexon did not learn their little proverbs from their childhood or from the childhood before. If what ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. And they fixed something that didn't need to be fixed, and now it really needs to be fixed. So I don't know. Just this doesn't suit me. Moving on to the next one, since we spent like 5 minutes talking about one thing, GP prices overall have increased drastically. Now, if you guys remember, or do you guys remember reading the dev posts, about from the Nexon GMs or the staff or whoever, talking about the whole, oh, we're going to rebalance GP prices. Well, I kind of had high hopes for that and said, oh, kind of hyped up by saying, oh, they're going to reduce prices overall from anywhere from 15 to 50%. Not true. If you guys remember, before the reboot patch, the M41 only cost 800 GP a day, and that was one of the few guns that actually had one-day rental sales. Now this costs 900 GP. Like, what the fuck? Whose bright idea was that to increase the price of M41 by 100 GP? And it's not even something we should fuss about either, because it's just 100 GP or whatever. We can pay for that. But for other guns, such as, let's say, well, the M416 is not a good example because before they removed the one-day sales, before they brought it back again, the M401 or the M416 also costs 1100 GP, so increasing by 50 GP is not the biggest deal in the world. But for example, like the FAMAS, wait, let's see, I might compare it to the wrong gun here. Yeah, the AK-47. The AK-47 only costs like 800 GP. Why the hell does it cost 1,150 GP now? Like, what the hell warrants that? Same with the ACR. I think it only costs like 900 GP, maybe 850 GP. I don't know, maybe 900. Before the reboot operation. Now it costs 1,150 GP. What the fuck, Nexon? What the hell were you smoking? Give me some of that good shit. But seriously, this makes no fucking sense. Why did you increase not only the rank requirement for, well, the ACR didn't have a, I think it has Staff Sergeant 1 rank requirement, but let's move on to the AK-47 example. Why the fuck did you increase the rank requirement for this gun when you only used to have a private rank requirement, and it was perfect like that because not a lot of people use the AK-47 anyway, but also you increased the price of this thing for one day. What the fuck, Nexon? Get your shit together. I don't agree with this. Also, if you guys move on to the GP rare guns, like for example, the all these guns here, well, some of these are NX standards, so just ignore those. But For example, the AGA1 Black, how much did that cost for a day? I don't think it cost 700 GP or 1700 GP for a day, especially the FAMAS SCA. I know for a fact that this shit did not cost 750 GP a day. Like, why the fuck would you increase some prices and decrease other prices and just be really, really inconsistent? Like, a lot of these guns I know are priced basically the same, but a lot of these guns as well just they still cost way too fucking much. I mean, yeah, sure, we know that you're trying to price these guns appropriately to reflect their value, but the G36E, well, I kind of agree with this because G36E now costs 1700 GP a day. Get wrecked, G36Us. Ha! But still, the M416 camo is nowhere. It's a very good assault rifle. Don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near like the G36E. The G36E, I actually don't mind it being priced at 1700 GP because it's that fucking good. But the M416 camo, it's nowhere near as good as the G36E. Why the hell should it be why the hell should it still be priced at 1700 GP? It should be more like 1200 or maybe even 1300. But nowhere, like, it can't be 1700 fucking GP. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And the M417 and the M6A2. Wait, hold on, where are those guns? Yeah, the M417 and M6A2. These guns were GP, they were technically GP standard, like high-ranking GP standards, mind you, but they were nowhere near this amount of price. Like, holy fuck, Nexon. What have you guys been thinking? What have you guys been smoking? Is a better question. I don't understand. I mean, understandably, I mentioned before, all the GP rank requirements have been decreased, significantly, and I do understand that, as a kind of a trade-off, the guns should cost more in exchange for being more accessible at an earlier stage of the game. But at a certain point, you kind of have to kind of sit back and think, okay, so how much are we bankrupting someone today? Is this guy buying a gun for 1700 GP? On top of everything else that they need to buy, like, forget just the gun. Like, for example, even if someone was gonna buy, for example, the AK-47. For example, if I want an AK-47, I'm going to buy a scope. I'm going to buy an extended mag, and I'm going to buy, especially on my other account, my Road to General account, I'm going to buy some speed gear. You know how much that fucking costs? That is going to cost me 1100 GP plus 440 GP for an extended mag 2, because fucking extended mag 1, the extended mag 1 is basically useless now. A scope, which is 300 GP, so already we're up to 1500 fucking, we're just below 2000 GP just for our guns and its attachments. Now let's throw in our speed gear. We gotta buy a light vest, which costs an exorbitant amount of GP now. Like, what the hell, Nexon? You increase the price for a light vest from 500 GP to 1210 GP. Oh my fucking god, you guys are giving me cancer. So throw the light vest in, and now we've got a loadout that costs, let's see, 1940 plus 1210 and fucking 3100 fucking 50 GP. 3100 or 3050 GP with light vest and our guns and our attachments. And now let's go to our headgear. At my rank, let's say we'll buy actually, since we can buy the military bandana now, we'll buy the military bandana. That's like 770 GP. In fact, at my rank, we can actually buy the Cyclops bandana. Holy shit. Or even the aviator's cap. Holy fucking shit. So now, if we were to buy this for 7% more speed, we can fucking go up to what? 3,600 something GP? Like, this shit racks up fast. And even though Nexon did say that they did increase the GP output of all games by 15%, 15% is not a lot at all, unless you're playing like for hours on end like I'm able to, or some other people are able to. Not a lot of people are playing Commodores for hours on end because they actually have lives, unlike us. So for them to make back all the GP that they're potentially going to spend, it's going to take them hours. Like, fuck. I know I said that I could make like easily 2 to 6k GP in one sit-down session of like a couple hours. I will actually count it back, and I was counting wrong. I was only making like 2k, maybe 3k GP if I was lucky in like 3 to 5 hours of straight combat arms. That's not ideal. That is not fucking ideal at all. And if you're spending 3 to 5 hours playing a fucking video game just to make back the money that you spent to actually get your gear for the day, for one day, there is something seriously fucking wrong. You shouldn't have to grind 3 to 5 hours just to pay back what you spent to get your gear for the day. You should be able to play and maybe 2, maybe 3 hours tops to earn a lot of surplus GP that you can by the time you're done playing, you can you can kind of sit back and say, hey, today I've made a lot of extra money, so I can spend towards or that I can save towards buying this really cool gun later down the road that's pretty expensive, or do something like that. But no, Nexon is now with these GP their hikes basically. They're basically screwing people who don't have NX. I'll talk about this later again, but they're basically screwing people who don't have NX by telling them, hey, look, if you don't want to use or spend all this GP to buy these guns, then guess what? You're gonna have to stick with your shitty M16, or just buy a gun with no attachments, and you're not gonna be able to do as much as well as you could be able to if you had access to all these things. And just all these GP price hikes just piss me the fuck off, because now look at my GP. I used to have like millions of GP until I blew it all buying GP perms that they had going on sale. Now, especially now after they've taken out the whole you can't sell back your useless NX standard or your NX rare guns anymore, which I kind of resent now that I'm not really flowing with GP anymore. Now you can't do that. The only way to get GP is to actually play the game. Unfortunately, a lot of people kind of resented the fact that people could get easy GP by buying GP hazard cases or selling back a lot of their, their useless guns that they're never going to use in their inbox. I mean, I understand that a lot of people were kind of, salty about that. But to be honest with you, for people like me, we're fucking salty that we can't even sell back these useless guns anymore. Like, let's go to my inbox. My inbox is chock full of shit that I'm not going to use. Most likely, fuck, am I going to use the M110 SCSS anytime soon? It's a great gun, don't get me wrong, but am I going to use it anytime soon? Do I want to use it? No. So what? Before I could have chosen to sell this off, but because I hadn't anticipated them actually getting rid of the sell back feature, I didn't sell this back in time. So now, guess what? This shit is sitting in my inbox forever and fucking ever until I actually activate it or actually discard it. And what the hell is going to come of that? Probably nothing until they implement the whole trade in your gun feature. But what the hell am I going to trade in? What the hell am I going to trade in? I have everything that I probably want, and if there is something I do want, then, well, yeah, I'll start using the trade-in feature. But at a certain point, am I going to use all my guns for just shitty trade-ins? Not really. So, the fact that they got rid of one, any short way, like a quick and easy way to make some GP, especially for people like me, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I understand that they did it to make the game more fair towards everyone in general. But if you're gonna make GP prices fucking exorbitantly too expensive to the point where it's kind of pointless to play the game for too long, or just buy things for like buy your full loadout and not even playing for enough time to actually make back the money, how is that fair either? So if you guys understand what I'm saying, I don't know. It's just very, very frustrating to think about these. And hard to earn GP, we've very kind of gone over that. We don't need to talk about that again. Another thing that I wanted to mention is no 7-day rentals, or no 7-day or 30-day rentals. I mean, yes, a lot of people did complain, including me, about the fact that we didn't have 1-day sales. So for Nexon, if you're listening to this, which I doubt you are, because you're fucking Nexon, why would you listen to anybody? Kappa. I was one of the people who said bring back the 1-day sales too. I'm not gonna lie, but when you say, "Oh, we're gonna bring back 1-day sales," when we said bring back 1-day sales, I don't think any of us actually said, "Get rid of the 7-day sales, get rid of the 30-day sales, get rid of the 90-day sales." Did we ask for that? I don't fucking think so. So just because we didn't ask, just because we didn't specifically say, "Oh, keep the 7-day or 30-day or 90 days or whatever," what? Why? Why? Just no. Why? Why would you get rid of the 7-day sales? Because honestly, by this point, buying the 7-day sales is actually, for some of these guns, is actually kind of a good deal at this point. So fuck that shit. Also, another thing that they've also gotten rid of is the fact that you can no longer gift GP items to each other. You can only gift NX items together. No, not to the shopping cart. As you can see, go here. Now you can actually gift GP weapons, but only through NX. Before the reboot operation, you could gift people by using GP, and it was cool. I mean, if you wanted to send something to someone GP, then that was fine. You could do it. But now you can't even send GP items to each other using GP. You have to use fucking NX. What the fuck, Nexon? What the fuck? Anyways, moving on, since I feel like I've already mentioned that enough. Only the NX guns that you can actually buy in the shop, not the rental shop, but the actual shop itself, can be customizable and or forgeable. So, if you guys go, in order to prove my point, let's go over here and check out the, what's a gun that we all know can be customized? The M416. The M416. Before the reboot operation, if you clicked on a weapon, you would be able to tell if it was able to be customized or not. And it would be somewhere like underneath the gun, like the gun category icon, like right there. Now it's not there. Huh, I wonder why. Let's go to the shop and check out the M416 here. Oh wait, hold on. It's right there. Oh wait, let's go back to the rental shop. Let's see if it's here. Oh no, it's not. Sorry. Nexon trolled you again. You just got fucking Nexon, Combat Arms community. So, what does this mean? Well, we all know what it means. Nexon wants you to pay for your GP guns in order to, if you want it fucking forged or customizable. You can't do anything else. You have to buy this shit for NX. That's what I had to do for my top 10 sniper rifles review, or not review, top 10 sniper rifles video, where I had to forge the S58 musket. I initially thought that you could actually just go to the rentals and buy the what is it? The L115A3 and forge it into the S58 musket, easy like that. But unfortunately, as I go to the jobs or the clan and the is it gonna freeze? No. Okay, good. Go to the forge. As I click on the drop down menu, it didn't show up because why? Because I didn't actually buy the gun. I only rented it. So this kind of a feature really sucks because now nobody can access any forgeable guns or if you are a guy who doesn't spend any GP or NX at all. Before you could forge guns into the MP40, the Lee Enfield, or other guns like that. Now you can't even do that. You can't even do that if you don't buy NX. So basically, you're just screwed. Nexon just trolled the fuck out of you. So I really don't like that. I really don't. And now, I believe that is all for what I consider are bad about the game so far. Again, if you guys, if I do not mention something that you feel is painfully obvious, then please go ahead and remind me. I may not keep track of everything altogether, but I'm doing my best here. But moving on to the ugly part, it's kind of like an overview of everything that's kind of bad. But all these bad changes that I've listed so far, all kind of have the same implication, that Nexon has used the reboot operation patch in order to kind of look like the good guys. Like even I said, oh hey look, Nexon's putting in all these great changes to the game to the point where I feel like they're genuinely trying to stray away from the whole we're just using Combat Arms as a cash cow, Kappa, so get fucked or get wrecked kind of mentality. Now, after playing the game and seeing how difficult it is to get your gear because of all the changes that they made, even though guns are technically more accessible, yeah, I use the word technically for a reason. The fact that they just cost so fucking damn much overall in general, it kind of cancels out the whole, you get it, you unlock the M41 CQBR at Sergeant, Master Sergeant now instead of Major or something like that, and then some. It's like Nexon, I honestly feel like Nexon kind of uses guys to, gain favor with the Combat Arms community, to kind of try to convince us that, we're actually trying to be the good guys here by making it, less pay to win and, more emphasis on, skill and dedication to the game and whatever like that. As it turns out, no, Nexon's still fucking us in the asshole. And, with all these changes, you inevitably kind of have to say, you just throw your hands up and say, well, what can we do? Like, if we run out of NX like I am right now, I'm gonna have to resort to spending a lot more in even more in NX now, even though I don't want to buy these guns that normally sometimes I didn't even have to spend NX for in the past. And admittedly, Nexon did make a lot of good steps in the right direction. They've also taken, but at the same time, they've also like fucking decide to see how far they could throw themselves backwards, and unfortunately they land on a they landed on a landmine or something like that, and it blew them even further back. That's what I feel what happened. So unfortunately, this kind of patch really makes me feel like Nexon has just, I don't want to say double cross. I mean, I really want to have faith in Nexon that they're trying to make these patch changes with good intentions. But there are a lot of things that are glaringly fucking obviously bad that they've done, and kind of honestly, I'm very shocked and surprised that they even let these changes go through. And if they could revert these changes as soon as possible, that'd be great. But let's be honest here, it's fucking Nexon. It took them fucking what, 2 years even, 2 years maybe, to get to roll out the reboot changes after the last time they drastically changed the system, whenever that was. How long is it going to take for them to change this shitty system back again? And it's unfortunate as it is, we kind of have to deal with it, and I'm going to be one of the ones who are going to keep playing this game because I'm less affected than other people are. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to make a game, or if you want to revitalize a game that's kind of been losing steam over the years, admittedly, even I will admit this, and it kind of has a reputation for being known as kind of like a pay-to-win game, even though it kind of isn't. There are a lot of other games that are pay-to-win. Soulfront 1, even still, if this was your, if Nexon, if this was your plan or your grand strategy to bring people back to the game, it kind of backfired on this one, because there were a lot of things that you did that were honestly really fucking retarded, and you really didn't need to do. And I don't know why you felt like you guys need to do this, but if you guys could change back all the things that were bad, then and just keep the ones that were good, then you will have a very successful game. I will guarantee you that. And one last thing that I wanted to mention that was bad. This is kind of a trivial thing. But if you guys go to your attachments, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this already, but first thing, all the attachments are fucking twice as more expensive as they used to be. Like, fuck, the suppressors only used to be 100 GB, now they're 220. ACOG subs used to be only 150, now they're 330. And the fucking Extended Mag 1 is now 440 GB when it used to be 200. What the fuck, Nexon? The Extended Mag 2 only used to be 400 GB, now it's 440. What the hell? There's no reason to use the Extended Mag 1 anymore. Like, fuck the Extended Mag 1, that thing is useless. Oh, it's like Extended Mag 2 all day, every day, and from now on until Combat Arms fucking dies, or they change the system. That, and you can no longer buy two of the same attachment anymore, which fucking blows, because for someone like me, sometimes I like to go around with my modular backpack and stack on 5 assault rifles for no apparent reason, even though I don't need to. And guess what? I like to put extended mags on all those bitches. And for me not to be able to do that because I'm only able to buy one attachment of each kind at a single fucking time, that's retarded. That's really fucking retarded. But again, that's trivial, and that's just one last thing I want to mention. Anyways, guys, this has been a fucking hour-long video, I want to say, so thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I don't know how much you guys would enjoy me ranting, but I feel like this video needed to have been made because it's, honestly, the bad changes are really, really terrible, and just, they need to be changed, preferably as soon as possible. But again, we know as we all know Nexon, who knows if they're actually gonna bother change that or not. But yeah, hope you guys have gained something useful from this video. Hope you guys this video. Hope this video has informed a lot of you who have not yet noticed these things before. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Overall, I would say the reboot patch was more of a fail. I don't want to call it a complete failure, but it did do a lot of things wrong that I feel like it shouldn't have gone wrong. Like, if I were Nexon and I were in charge of the reboot operations, it's like all the bad things I mentioned, I wouldn't even let it happen in the first place. So that's just what I want to say, and that's what I leave you guys with. So guys, thank you guys very much for watching, like I said, and we will catch y'all later.